Hello and welcome to part 1 of the Hypermill 5-axis machining tutorial. In this tutorial we'll be machining gearcase mid-housing, and it won't be the most efficient way or the best way to machine it. It'll just be for demonstrative purposes and showing you different ways to machine complex components. So the first thing you want to do in Hypermill is, once you've imported your component, you want to go to Hypermill Automation Center. Because Hypermill actually has software that can set it all up for you and set up your clamp as well. So you can see here all of the different steps, all of the options that you have. So if we just have a look through it here, it's going to best fit the NCS for us at the start. Box offset, select a fixture system, load it into the fixture system, rotate it, adjust it to the stock, and then finish the clamping. So you can see this here. That looks good. And then what you want to do is create a new job list. So you want to create a new job, and the first job that we're going for is 3D optimized roughing. You can see all the different options you have here. So then you want to select your tool. Hypermill has stock tools in its toolbox, so you have a lot of options there to choose from. And next you want to select your strategy. So we're going to select roughing, fillet all toolpaths. You have other options here like using adaptive pockets. Next you want to move on to your parameters. So you're selecting your heights, top and bottom. You want to specify your step overs as well, if you wish. And Hypermill also has a high performance mode for the roughing. You can use this if you want. It does take longer to program and longer machine in the high performance area. So then you're just selecting through all the different options, making sure you're happy with all your settings. And then once you're happy, you can hit calculate, and it'll start generating the toolpath and generating your resultant stock. So once the operation has been generated, you can right click and then internal simulate the machine and operation. So you can see here, Hypermill opens a new window and gives you the option of changing the graphics and different things. So that operation looks to be going well. It's machining what we're looking to be machined. So there, the machining operation has been fully simulated, and I'm happy with that result. So you can see here different options that Hypermill has for the simulation window. You can start the toolpath over. There's different graphic options here, stock removal, simulation. And you can see on the left side of the menu here, different stocks. And if we turn this on, this is the resultant stock after the first machining operation, which is useful for seeing what you need to do next. So the next operation that we're going to program is going to be a 3D complete finishing operation. So we just select our tool here. We use a finishing cutter, and we're going to use an end mill. So we're just selecting all of our settings here again. So if we select zigzag and then leave the radius at 2, then move on, select your heights again. That looks okay, and then specify on your step downs again. This can drastically increase or decrease your machining times. So once you're happy with your settings, click OK and start generating your toolpath. So there you can see our toolpath has been generated. So if we go ahead and we could change the tool here actually to a slightly larger tool, which would decrease the machining time, decrease the programming time. So if we run this again, there you can see this time it takes slightly longer to generate the toolpath. So we can simulate the machining here in the machining window. And that looks good. That's exactly what we're looking. So if we move on now, go to new job again, and we're going to use another 3D complete finishing operation. And this time we're going to use an end mill, and we'll use a slightly smaller diameter. So we'll go for a 4 mil, and then selecting all of our settings again. We're going to machine flat areas. We're going for zigzag, and then again making sure the rest of your settings are okay. And there you can see the flat areas have been machined. So we can run the simulation here. And that looks good there. So it's machining all of the flat areas, leaving a clean surface finish. So we're happy with that. Now if we move on again, another new job. This time we're going to use 3D Z level shape finishing, and you can use this for chamfers, fillets, interior walls, whatever you think it's suitable for. So selecting your heights again. If you're machining fillets with this operation, you would prefer to use a smaller step down, gives a better surface finish. So then we're just selecting our faces here now, using the milling surfaces feature. So again, making sure everything else is okay, and then generating your toolpath. So once your toolpath has been generated, you can simulate your machining through. And you're looking out for collisions here as well when you're simulating your machining. Hypermill will give you a notification if there is collisions. that has machined the fillets on the inside of the mid housing very well, so successful machining operation. So the next operation that we're going to program is a simple drilling operation, and we're just going to drill straight through the middle. So selecting the appropriate size drill bit, then selecting the center point and the midpoint, and then your heights, making sure that you're drilling the whole way through. So you need to add a little extra bit on the bottom. So you can do it manually, or you can select it and then leave your value or change it if you wish. So then again, making sure all the rest of your settings are okay and generating your toolpath. So we'll simulate this and see what results we get. And there, that looks good. So nice clean drill straight through the middle. So if we move on to the next machining operation, we'll select 3D Z level finishing. And for this we're going to use a bull nose end mill. We're going to use 6mm diameter, 1mm corner radius. Then we're just selecting our settings here again. Fillet interior corners, just going to specify the radius of the fillets. Again, selecting your heights. And your step down, very important again. And we're going to use the milling surfaces feature. So if we select here and then we select our faces, and once you're happy with all the rest of your settings, go ahead and generate your toolpath. So we can simulate the operation here. So it's a fairly short machining operation. It's just machining the fillets. Sorry, the chamfers along the edge. So that looks okay. So if we move on then, the next job we're going to program is 3D Z level stock finishing, or Z level shape finishing, sorry. We're going to use ball end mill for this operation, and we're going to use 3mm diameter tool. Again, just selecting your settings, specifying step overs and heights. So we're going to use the milling surfaces feature again, just to select this chamfer. So once you're happy, then go ahead and generate your toolpath. And you can see that looks good so far if we simulate it through. Okay, so that operation is machining the correct area and it's leaving a good surface finish. So the next thing we want to do is these chamfers along the top of the drill, or these holes. we can actually edit the last machine in operation and just add in the selected faces. So we can click here and this side as well, because it just adds these faces to the chamfer that was already machined. So if we rerun this operation, you can see the toolpath generated now, and that looks good. It's machined all of those chamfers. So if we edit this again and we go to boundary and select faces, we can actually select these smaller chamfers also and add those in. So we can put all of these smaller chamfers on the one finishing operation, or the one machining operation, sorry. So there are the toolpaths generated. And if we simulate this through now, okay, so there's the updated stock, and if we go ahead and play this simulation, you can see the machine giving a good surface finish on these chamfers, mainly due to the step over. Okay, so happy with that operation. Now, next what we want to do is drill these holes on the top of the mid housing. So if we go new job, and we're going to go simple drilling, and then we're just selecting the appropriate size drill bit. Again, making sure the rest of your settings are correct. So you can select the midpoint of your holes. So we'll do these two first because they're the same size. And then selecting your heights again. So once you're happy, go ahead and click calculate. Then we'll do the second operation for the other three holes. So job again, simple drilling. And again, selecting the appropriate size drill bit for the three holes. And then making sure the rest of the settings are correct. So selecting the center of your three holes. So once you're happy with the rest of your settings, go ahead and generate your toolpath. You can see here that the toolpath's generated and it is drilling three holes we selected. So if we go for a new job now and continue with the next operation, and we're going to use ISO machining for this operation. We're going to be machining the chamfers on the inside of the inside pockets. So we'll use a bull nose end mill for this operation, Again, just selecting our tool here. And we're going to use the V parameter for machining direction. We're going to use zigzag direct. Again, selecting the rest of your settings, making sure everything's correct for the operation. And we're also going to use the select surfaces feature to select the faces that we want machined on the chamfers and the inside of the pockets. So if we just click these, very simple. So now that we've selected all of our faces, we can go ahead and calculate the toolpath. You can see here it's been generated. So if we simulate the machining, it looks good. We're machining the right areas, and the step over is ensuring a quality surface finish. So happy with that. And always making sure to save your work as you go, because CAD/CAM programs are very susceptible, or more susceptible than normal programs, to crashing. So if we move on then to the next operation, we're going to use another Z level shape finishing operation. So selecting the appropriate ball end tool, and then again selecting all of our settings. We're going to use this select faces again. Very handy tool, very easy to use, and we're just going to select these fillets that we want machined here, and we don't need to specify too much in the settings here, so we can go ahead and generate the toolpath. So now that toolpath is being generated, you can see it's machining the right areas anyway. So if we go ahead and simulate this through, we can have a look at how it performs. Yeah, so there's no collisions there, machining the right areas. So that's it for this tutorial. This was the first part of a two-part 5-axis machining tutorial for Hypermill. I hope you enjoyed, and I hope you join me for part 2 in the next video.